Alex Eala's $30 million act of love, transforming lives with 250 homes and 500 hospital beds for the homeless. The morning sun shimmered over Manila Bay, and for once, the headlines weren't about forehands, aces, or WTA rankings. They were about compassion. Tennis star Alex donates $30 million to build homes and hospitals for the homeless. The world stopped. This wasn't a story about trophies. It was a story about heart. At just 20 years old, Alex Eala, the pride of the Philippines, Asia's rising tennis queen, had announced an act of love so grand, so selfless that it would echo far beyond the boundaries of sports. With her own foundation, she pledged $30 million to construct 250 homes and 500 hospital beds across the country, dedicated to families without shelter and patients without hope. A queen's heart beyond the court. For years, Alex Eala had been known for her explosive power on the tennis court, her elegance, and her ever-growing list of victories. But those close to her knew behind a fierce competitor was a young woman with a heart tuned to humanity. In interviews, Alex often said, "Tennis gave me a voice. Now I want to use it for something that matters." The idea began in silence during her downtime, after a minor injury that kept her off the court in early 2025. While recovering, she traveled through parts of Metro Manila incognito. What she saw changed her. Families sleeping under bridges, children begging for coins, outside fast food chains, mothers rocking their babies in the open air as rain poured down. I realized, she later said, that winning a title means nothing if my people are still struggling to live the dream that became a mission. Her foundation, the Alex Eala Heartstrong Foundation, had already been providing sports scholarships for underprivileged children. But this was something much bigger. In August 2025, Alex gathered her team in Makati and declared, "We're not waiting for change. We're going to build it." What followed was an ambitious blueprint. White heavy, checkmark 250 sustainable family homes. White heavy, checkmark 500 hospital beds across 5 provinces. White heavy, check mark free healthcare clinics. White heavy, check mark a community tennis court in every housing complex. The goal, to merge housing, health, and hope into one living ecosystem where people could not just survive but thrive. The moment the world found out, the announcement came through a breathtaking live broadcast. Alex stood at the site of the first housing development in Cavite, wearing a simple white shirt and sneakers. No luxury, no glamour, just sincerity. She took a deep breath and said, "This is not charity. This is love, because love builds, love heals, and love transforms." The crowd erupted into applause. Some cried, others simply stared in disbelief. Within hours, international outlets picked up the story. BBC, CNN, and ESPN ran special features on her. The New York Times headline read, "A tennis star builds what governments couldn't. Building hope, one brick at a time." Construction began. Immediately, architects, engineers, and volunteers came together like never before. Each home was designed to withstand typhoons and heat, built with eco-friendly materials and solar panels to ensure sustainability. Each family selected for relocation was given not just a house, but a fresh start, complete with skill training programs and educational support for their children. Meanwhile, the hospital initiative was a master stroke. Alex collaborated with local governments and international medical charities to open modular hospitals, each equipped with modern beds, clean water systems, and emergency care units. She didn't just donate money. She oversaw the project. Personally, every home has a name, she said, and every name has a story worth remembering. From tennis star to national heroine, the Philippines had celebrated Alex before for her historic tennis wins. But this time, the love from her country reached new heights. In Quezon City, murals of her holding a racket and a blueprint appeared. Overnight, in rural schools, teachers shared her story as part of lessons about kindness. The hashtag #Alila4. The people trended for weeks. President Marcos Jr. called her initiative a beacon of hope for a nation that sometimes forgets its power to care. Even icons like Serena Williams and Rafael Nadal praise her online. Serena tweeted, "Titles fade, but compassion lasts forever. Bravo, Alex." The ceremony of keys, the day the first 50 homes were completed, Alex returned to Cavite. Hundreds gathered for ceremony of keys. Children lined up with flowers. Elderly couples wept as they received the keys to their new homes. Alex personally handed out each one, hugging families, listening to their stories. When asked how it felt, she said, quietly, "It feels like winning Wimbledon." One moment stood out. A 7-year-old girl named Angela, who had lived under a bridge her whole life, gave Alex a handmade bracelet and whispered, "At Alex, you gave us a home. Now I can sleep without the rain." Alex wiped away tears. For once, the champion had no words. Healing with Heart, the hospital initiative launched next. The first facility located in Laguna was a modern yet humble medical center painted in warm pastel tones adorned with a symbol of heart wrapped around a tennis ball. The hospital's mission to provide free health care for the homeless and uninsured. When it opened, the first patient treated was a newborn boy, his mother naming him Alexander in gratitude. Doctors called it the Hospital Love Build. Within 3 months, 12 more hospital wings opened across Luzon and Mindanao, providing critical care for thousands. Alex visited each one, meeting doctors, nurses, a champion's return in 2027. After taking a short break from tennis to oversee her projects, Alex returned to the WTA circuit. But this time, every time she stepped on court, fans chanted not just her name, but her message, Eala for the people. Her shoes bore a tiny inscription near the sole, built with love. When she won her first Grand Slam title later that year, her victory speech didn't mention tennis. It mentioned hope. "This trophy," she said, holding a high, "is for every child who believed life could be better. And it is. It always can be. The world follows." Her lead, inspired by Alex's model, other athletes followed suit. NBA players, boxers, and fellow tennis stars began funding similar housing and healthcare initiatives. The UN even invited her to speak at its global Summit on Youth Empowerment, where she addressed leaders from around the world. We talk about breaking records, but what about breaking the cycle of poverty? That's the real victory. Her speech received a 5-minute standing ovation. Epilogue, the girl who built hope. Years later, long after her tennis career ended, people would still speak of Alex Eala, not just as a Filipino who conquered courts, but as a woman who rebuilt hearts. Her legacy wasn't confined to trophies, but scattered across cities and villages where children played tennis in community. Courts named after her where mothers smiled in safe homes and where patients were covered in hospitals funded by her. Love, at the entrance of every heart-strong community, stands a simple plaque that reads, "This place was built not with money, but with love, Alex." And so as the world looked back on her $30 million act of compassion, one truth, became clear. She didn't just play for titles. She played for humanity. Because when love serves, everyone wins. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next